take it off at some point.
Oh, did you hear that, everybody? Ken's gonna take it off at some point.
Some point.
Ooh, yeah, my buddy Ken Kanenbley, right?
Yeah, what's up?
He is in town. He's down from Oregon. Haven't hung out with this dude in a long time. Had you come down so we could talk about? Oh fuck, we didn't even do that yet. Unlocking a cage, but I don't care. We'll put that on hold. No, we spent the morning developing your Try Not to Die.
Yeah, you remember how we met?
Strip club.
Fucking stoner.
Strip club. Oh no, that's my other buddy. I think probably through Cheyenne.
Negative.
I don't remember. Was it jiu-jitsu?
Nah, dude.
It was a Reiki session.
It was a Reiki session.
Oh,
you were
that's
coming
right,
to see my mom.
Right. And yeah, so I did a session with your mom. And that was right when I was starting to explore spirituality, I guess. I don't know if that's what we call it, or alternative healing. I think
Trying to figure out if it's bullshit or not.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm like, it is total bullshit. I was gonna bring in a camera and record the whole thing. Like, this is a bunch of crap. This is right before. I think right after that is when I did I tried doing the hypnosis, the regression therapy.
I think you did it before.
Oh, okay. And but again, it was Cheyenne had turned me on to one of my friends. She turned me on to Ken's mom for doing a Reiki session, and so I went down thinking, I was like, I don't know, we'll see, what it does. If nothing else, I'll relax. And the first session, because I'm closed-minded or whatever else, I was like, maybe I don't know if that's what it was or not, but I didn't really feel anything. But I don't know, it wasn't a bad experience at all. It was relaxing. I enjoyed meeting your mom and everything. And then she introduced me to you and she mentioned that I think at the time you were a vegetarian, right?
Yeah, I was actually in the middle of cooking a meal.
Yeah, I remember now. I could see it perfectly.
I get this ugly fuck just coming in my kitchen.
I was like, love at first sight. I know, I'm an ugly bastard. But it's cool. And then I think we probably talked about jiu-jitsu and stuff too, right? And
yeah, you eventually progressed to that.
And I wanted to get healthier at that point. I think I was real heavy then. That was probably 250.
No, you know what it was? Actually, we first connected about the unlocking the cage.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's right. Yeah, your mom told me that. She's like, my son likes this stuff.
That I like writing, and you were writing. So I was like, all right,
that's right.
I'm a little interested.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that. And then, we did a lot of stuff since then. We did. We'll go into all the spirituality and Reiki and those things too. But we were starting to train, right? You were coming over here and we were doing some jiu-jitsu for like off and on late at night.
Yeah.
Like I had 10 o'clock or even later jiu-jitsu sessions.
That's pretty much how our friendship started.
Yeah.
Invite me over some jiu-jitsu.
And you would bring.
There was like 3 other guys maybe.
Yeah.
We met maybe twice before everyone gave up except us.
Yeah. And it was tough. There wasn't a lot of room downstairs. But it was cool. But then I think that's when I had my knee injury, and so I ended up started doing yoga at night, and I invited you over, and it was just kind of weird. And one time I think there was 4 of us down there. It was like 10 o'clock at night. We're all sweaty. Lights are off. My wife walks in. I'm like, close the door. Close the door. But had you done much yoga before that? And like what?
Yeah, definitely. So I'd done yoga prior, coming from Olympic weightlifting, mixed martial arts. Even done a couple triathlons. So for me, I was really into weightlifting. I didn't think yoga was appropriate for me. I was like, dude, that's fucking stretching, breathing. And this is coming from even my background where I meditate a lot. But it was definitely a masculinity kind of thing where it's just like, dude, that just doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. And so I actually did give it a shot. So I was going through kind of like a spiritual phase of like questioning things. I was like, I'll give yoga a shot. Actually went to the temple right over here in Kalima. And it was so slow paced. That shit was gay, dude. So it was very slow paced, barely moving around.
Older crowd, probably.
Older crowd for sure. Mm. There was a little bit of a spiritual component. I liked the meditation afterwards, but that was my introduction to yoga for a while, and it was just a very different style. And so when you invited me to do it, I was like, yeah, I guess. I mean, sure.
Did it help that it was a man, like a guy that was inviting you, and someone that already did martial arts, or
it was, I guess maybe the martial arts, but it's
or my sexiness, like it could have been that, dude. You knew
I
was
gonna
shirt
off a few times.
Yeah,
but no, I felt comfortable with my sexuality. It was just more like it didn't seem appropriate because I was more into like lifting weights, you know, like that was fun.
Yeah.
Moving around, stretching wasn't stimulating enough for me.
Yeah. No, there's no way when I was into powerlifting, when I was playing football, even when I was fighting, there's no way I would even have considered doing yoga. Like, no, this is weak.
Yeah, it's funny because, I mean, we'll get into it later, but I've spread it across to some other people. And this real big masculine guy, he's about 6'4", he intimidates everybody. And he's just like a really insensitive dude. But we were actually all going to go shooting. He invited me to go shooting. He's like, yeah, you know, I invited Dan to go shooting, but apparently he's doing fucking yoga with Ken. And it was just like, it was a funny reaction. It was just like, what?
That's cool. No, I think sorry, my kids are home today. They're sick and they're downstairs crying. Not crying because they're sick. That would seem awful if I was not taking care of them, but they're Jake's 3 and still cries a lot. Yeah. What were we talking about? Damn, I get easily distracted. Oh, so with the yoga. Man. So now we did the yoga that I found that I was doing especially when I was doing it often and only at home was the Ultimate Yogi. I think it's 108 days.
Travis Elliott.
108
days Ultimate Yogi.
Yeah, I never got through the whole 108 days, man.
Unfortunately, I didn't either. How far did you get, by the way?
I got through 60 days. This is when I was a lot heavier, and I was still having my back issues. And I know the yoga was helping a lot, but then my back went out. Like, I think I was on day 60. But, dude, what I realized, and Anthony, who I do yoga with now, he kind of made me realize, man, he's like, you don't have to do every day. He's like, that's a cool goal. He's like, and just count the days where you're laying down at night and you're doing 5 minutes of breathing. He's like, count those days. And I was like, no, I was like, that's cheating. So I'm not going to. But the way I do it now, man, I still go to those discs pretty often. Sometimes I was doing yoga at Greenleaf Yoga Studio, which I liked a lot. I do yoga with Anthony and before jiu-jitsu. And then I'll do these discs. But yeah, I enjoy them. I leave the volume on. I enjoy the messages that come across. And that surprises me for how many times I've done it and how many times I heard it. And I do the yin yoga one all the time. Like, that's what I need after beating my body up with jiu-jitsu. So, and you said that you ended up picking it up afterwards?
Yeah, definitely. We did it for about... probably about 4 months. We did it 2 or 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until we started smoking before we did it. So you would always smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still kind of on the fence about smoking, or I did it like here. I dabbled.
Yeah.
I dabbled. But it was that's actually, once I really started smoking was from the yoga, actually. And so we'd smoke. And this is right after the meditation, so you go through about an hour of intensive workout on these things. These things are brutal, okay? Mm-hmm. They're not for the faint of heart. And the beginners, no. I throw all my friends into it, just throw them in head first, you know, figure out if they sink or swim, essentially. But after this intensive workout, you do get to like this little Zen chill workout, like meditation, where you just breathe, and he's talking you through the meditation, and at the end, you're just chilling, and he's not talking. And it was at that point, if I could smoke and I was doing yoga, I would trip the fuck out.
Mm. But you enjoyed the trips, right?
Yeah, no, they were always really good. It was just vibrant colors. A lot of it was just like space, geometric shapes, anything of that sense. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, definitely.
And I think Marshall enjoys a lot of those benefits. My buddy who also meditates a lot. Like, I never have that. I have euphoria and everything else. But I'm still, like, I haven't spent much time meditating. And I think that's probably a big part of it. Damn, that's my phone going off.
Well, it's pretty common. I mean, as far as I know, I'm the only person that hallucinates just from smoking. So it really doesn't take much.
Yeah. Now, well, all right. So let's go into why do you think that happens with you? Do you think we all have this ability, but it's only because maybe it's these things that you've been exposed to, and like even the work with maybe you could describe it, the machine I absolutely love, and I can't even remember its damn name. Oh, the live stream generator. I wanted to buy one. I still haven't done it. I don't have the money. But that's what I mean, could it be using that kind of machine that is kind of opening you up to these visions?
That's very possible because I hadn't smoked until I was very overexposed to that live stream generator. But no, I'm trying to think who else has been around or exposed to that smokes. It's a possible contributing factor. It's probably not the whole thing.
Well, how about when you're meditating? How about if you don't smoke at all and you just have like a really deep meditation? Do you still?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not the weed. So it's just whatever craziness. I mean, yeah, maybe you're just super crazy. You're just picturing all this stuff. You're just making it all up.
I like attention.
No, I enjoy talking to you, man. So yeah, I think I went over there after doing the session with your mom, talk with you, and then we started doing. I did a session with you, several sessions, and each time I was noticing more and more. And in my head, I'm like, maybe this is just placebo effect or whatever else. But I was like, but at the same time, I was like, why not? Like, it's cool. If nothing else, I'm relaxing, and if I have the placebo effect of healing and everything else, was like then that's awesome. Like placebo effect is way better than most drugs out there.
Yeah. I'm glad you said the placebo effect though, but yeah, essentially. So it wasn't until you had one session. I remember you did jiu-jitsu, you tried rolling, and you ended up leaving early because you had a really bad headache. And you just hit me up, you're like, hey dude, I need a session really bad. Are you free? And I just so happened that I was. So I was like, yeah, roll on over. And I could just see on your face, you're just like disgruntled, you're upset, you're just not having it, and you felt stressed. So we gave you the session, and your headache was completely gone afterwards. But then also, what was better is you were actually like, I could feel a difference on your face, you know? And that's when you started seeing me consistently after that. That was just...
See, that's cool. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I know. You're a stoner.
That could be it. Well, dude, my memory, I don't know how much is drug related, how much is like... I don't think... some of it might be drug related, but I think a lot is from just hits to the head, and I have huge gaps in memory that are just gone, or it's just because I'm getting older. But I'm taking care of my brain now, dude. I play brain games every day. 99.6 percentile lumosity. That was just a big pat on my back too. But I think that's important.
Yeah, but so going back to that placebo effect, though, I mean, what's more clinically proven than the placebo effect? Nothing. That's more time tested than anything. Is a placebo effect is a scientific fact. It does work. And so if you try and think on the grand scheme of skills or things, what really is the placebo effect? What is the difference?
Just belief.
And so I really truly believe it's just you create your reality. You know, and the fact that, I mean, anything and everything is energy, even thoughts. And that's just, it's hard to even debate that, you know, because what is reality? So if I can think it, is it real? What about all the things that we don't interact with that are real? You know, our eyes see a very small percentage of the light spectrum, and we're still interacting with that light. Did you know our body, if you could actually weigh how much we are with the light off, it's going to be different from what it is with the light on, because that light actually applies pressure to us. And at a very, very minute level, our weight changes.
Wow.
That's insane. So it's already interacting with our reality, whether we are aware of it or not.
Yeah.
And so to understand that reality is much more malleable, then you can really start to appreciate something like the placebo effect, and that our thoughts are so powerful, we can literally change our physical output of what reality is.
I think that's huge. And dude, when The Secret came out and all this stuff and positive thoughts, and I was like, fuck all that.
Yeah, so as was I. I actually gave my mom, tried throwing that down my throat, like, oh, the secret. And you can see it, and you know, there's some extent to the power of belief, but for it to be, what's the term I'm looking for? It's definitely exploited and emphasized way too much, and it almost seems like there's a spiritual component missing from it as well. You know, just because you do good, you're going to get good. I don't think that's necessarily true. You can be the nicest person in the world and expect all this karma in return. But if you have negative thoughts about yourself, then that's the kind of reality you're going to continue to render. You can be the fucking nicest person in the world. You can have all the shitty things because you think you're a shitty person.
Yep.
And if you're always having that in the back of your head, then unfortunately that's who you are. That's your thinking, and your thinking is who you are. Those are your actions.
Yeah, dude, I think there's so much we repress so much, and lots of stuff we're not even aware of
Dude,
anymore.
yeah, you
Just like how
totally
much
hit it, man.
guilt, and what that does with the amount of stress. And if we're looking at it like that, like if all that stuff is causing some kind of stress, and stress is causing inflammation or whatever
And
else,
stress is it's the most detrimental thing to the human body.
Mhm.
That's it's simple as that. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Emoto. He's the infamous Japanese scientist who did the water studies. Actually, I guarantee I've told you.
Mhm.
But for those who don't know, he just labeled water. It started out, he would get water and he would look at it under a microscope, frozen, and he would see icicles. Well, these icicles would either come out looking like beautiful, immaculate snowflakes, or they'd come out shitty, blurry, and doesn't look like a snowflake. So he wanted to understand the consistency. So he thought, well, maybe this is better water. It sounded pretty dumb at first. So he goes and grabs some holy water. Then he goes and he grabs just regular water from a faucet, and he would actually look at them under the microscope, and he could see a very tangible difference in each
Really?
one. Yeah, and so if you think about that, I mean, that's just water.
Mhm.
So what's the difference between holy water and sink water? It's the same exact thing. So he wanted to take it up to the next notch. So he said, all right, well, what if I can do the same thing? What if I can replicate that environment, whatever that environment is? Maybe it's just positive and negative. That's a very simple way to think of it. So what is holy water? It's supposed to be something good for you. So he put love and gratitude as the words, and he read that to the water bottle, and he would label love and gratitude. Another one would be fear, and then he would freeze them, look them under the microscope, and sure enough, with 100% consistency every single time, whatever water was labeled with positivity would come out as that beautiful snowflake, and the exact opposite for fear or anything similar to that. And that even transcended languages, which means it's not a specific word or anything. It's literally the intention behind it. And that's huge, man. I don't know what's more important than that. That's physical proof that we're interacting with what we want and what we don't want. And especially, I mean, human body, what are we? We're water. 80%
Right.
water, 70% water, and just a whole bunch of minerals. So if you tell someone something enough, that's what they are. Look at people who are insecure. Those people usually, if they had that childhood or whatever it is, they've just been told enough times that they are that kind of person, and you believe that no matter what you are. You are a product of your environment just as much as your environment is a product of you.
No, 100%, man. I believe it. That's what I enjoy seeing. I enjoy trying to figure out people, whether I'm interviewing them and saying like, okay, why did they turn out like this, or if we're developing a character,
Yeah.
like my Messiah character, like the stuff that he experienced and was told, and what we absorb as children is like that's our reality. Is like that's why we're going to develop all these different things. But man, yeah. So you were probably a big part of. Kickstarting all that, getting me probably in a more positive direction is also when I was doing unlocking the cage. I know doing jiu-jitsu and all that. Excuse me. Doing jits, all that stuff, forcing myself to leave my comfort zone. All that stuff definitely has helped me become way more peaceful, way more positive. And my thing was like, okay, well, let's say I don't understand this and I don't know, but I was like, if nothing else, if I'm being positive and if I'm imagining like this is gonna be my reality, and dude, I did the life board. I figured out exactly what I want. I was like, then I'm gonna work towards that, and I'm telling myself like, look, that's just a constant reminder. Like that's pushing me in that positive direction. If nothing else, but yeah, man. So I try to be as positive as possible
Positive
now.
as possible. But
Yeah.
again, it's you start talking about the subliminal verses of our thinking, all the things that
Mhm.
we're not aware of, and things that are second nature without ever recognizing, and that's insane, dude. So if you have all these like negative things that you aren't aware of, and then you continue to run into a certain issue in your life that's just replaying and replaying and replaying, and you haven't learned that lesson, well, why are you recreating that reality? What is it that you're thinking that's enabling that?
Dude, I had I think it applies. But like one of my friends, I wanted her to do a writing exercise to get rid of one of those problems. Like, 'cause if you examine these things, I think if you look at them closely, if you deal with it, if you talk with someone about it, or whatever it is, but you can't just leave it buried there. Like she knows she has this issue, but this issue is in a box and she doesn't want to touch it because she's past it. I was like, well, that issue is causing depression. That issue is causing, like, you got it in a box, but this is what's causing your negative, like your low self-esteem. This box is causing this, this, and this.
Right.
But she does not want to go and look at that box and open it
Fear,
up.
man.
And
Fear is a motherfucker.
So I don't know. It's crazy. Dude, there's so much. But how much fear did you have making this big move? So how long you been? When did you take off from here?
Oregon. It's about a year and a half. I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of fear, man. Like I said, there's always it's a big world. I don't want to spend my whole life in Whittier.
That's one of the places that, dude, I said that's where I want to retire. Like, I looked at everywhere in the country. I was like, that's the place that looks the safest and the nicest and what I could imagine, where I could imagine myself being happy. Like, what's been your experience with it, leaving LA and moving up there?
Well, it's pretty crazy driving, not seeing all the tall buildings. Just greenery everywhere, dude. It's insane. You didn't know that there were so many trees that existed until you're driving down through Oregon.
And how does just that make you feel?
Oh, you feel amazing, dude. I've always thought that the healing nature of nature. Healing nature. I think those words are coincided for a very specific purpose, man. If you go outside for a hike, you are being healed. I don't care what you say. You feel good. It makes you feel good. And if you can think back about what we were talking earlier, you feel good, you're going to recreate that. You are good, dude. So that's healing at the very central core. Like, that's the deepest healing you can have, is the inside out, you know?
Yeah.
And so if you're involved in that 24/7, yeah, you feel pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
man.
and a healing nature, like, that's healing, but maybe not walking in fucking LA's smog and where it's disgusting and there's all this car pollution and everything else is like.
Yeah. Well, there's just different styles of living, though. I mean, Californians always have that bad rep, especially you live here your whole life, and someone that's not as outgoing, you know, there's so many people, it's not fun.
Yeah.
But there's things I miss too, so
yeah,
it's not all that bad.
Yeah, when I took Olivia and I went up to South Dakota, and I was surprised at how green it was. But the very first morning we went outside, and she's like, everything's so green. She's like, I want to live here. Yeah. I was like, yeah, because cities suck. But you know what, we did, you mentioned the backyard earlier, like we were able to recreate like a little, like my little oasis. So I was like, I don't mind living in California if I'm just right here. Like, I got to figure out a way to put like a lid on the top of it.
Yes, man, you got a sanctuary.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Badass.
And yeah, dude, I love doing yoga out there. It's relaxing, it's peaceful.
I
So
noticed the new yoga pics on the social media.
yeah, yeah. Gotta do yoga, man. It's funny too, because you know, when Anthony was gone, I was trying to teach the starter class, which is yoga.
This sounds great.
And very uncomfortable, but dude,
I'm sorry. What are your qualifications for teaching?
They're not. And I told everyone, I was like, look, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I haven't been training very long, but this is how I enjoy starting. Like, I think it helps with jiu-jitsu. This is how I warm up for jiu-jitsu. So this is what I'm gonna do. I was like, if you guys want to follow along, and then I would try to help them.
The influence that you've spread personally, right? So
oh yeah,
you came in, you introduced me to yoga. It was cool, and then I started kind of like really understanding and appreciating it for what it is. And it wasn't just that slow, meditative kind of long, deep stretch, because I didn't want it that. You know? And so it was so physically stimulating. Like I said, that shit kicks your ass. And then you feel so good after that breathing exercise. There's all those sustained movements, and then you when you're finished, you feel whole. There's that wholesome feeling. It's almost that healing nature, right? So I started spreading it around to other people. I invited Moppin over here, a buddy of mine. He did it a couple times, and he literally did it twice, and he was convinced. He bought one, right? So
that's cool.
I bought one. He bought one. I introduced my girlfriend into it. She has one now.
And that's all the Ultimate Yogi?
All Ultimate Yogi, same stuff.
That's dope.
And then I actually started doing it with a couple of buddies from work. One of them got the Ultimate Yogi set. So, yeah, that's man, cool. It's just the influence. You only need to be exposed a couple times to experience how amazing and wholesome that is. You feel phenomenal,
man. So that's awesome. I'm thanks for telling me that, because sometimes I feel foolish. I felt foolish trying to teach, even though I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But it's like, if I can just spread it, if I could put up pictures, whatever, I don't care. Like, dude, the old me would never put up a picture of me doing yoga.
Yeah, for sure.
Never. But now I'm starting to put them up every once in a while. My sister, man, she's incredible. She's been like, her practice is crazy. She can nail all kinds of stuff. But for me, I was like, if I get the breathing, if I can, it's helping me realize balance and just like, okay, I don't need to do it every day, or maybe I need to do the breathing, or just, I don't know, man. I'm just all about enjoying life right now. Like we were talking earlier, it's like, I kind of set up the perfect day where I got rid of my list of things I had to get done. And it's just whatever that day presents, man. I was like, you're coming over today, so we got to develop a book, and that's awesome. We're gonna go into that a little bit, and then just hanging out and being able to have this talk, and then I'm gonna go and play with the kids in the pool, and then there's no jits today, but I'll be sure to do my breathing and whatever else. Oh, last night I realized something. Last night I always want to get. I mean, at nighttime I usually want to get straight to work. I got home from teaching jits like at 10 o'clock. Go outside, get my head straight. And I'm ready to get to work. I want to knock out this chapter, but then my son, he was like had a hard time sleeping, so I just went into his bed with him, and I just did my breathing with him, just with my hand on his chest. And I was
awesome, man.
Yeah, oh, dude, I love doing that with him. And I realized I was like, I enjoy this so much. It's so good for him. I could feel his body relax, and I could feel his muscles relax. And
You got your own form of Reiki.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, they practice it too. The kids practice it. And yeah, Jake does his Jakey Reiki. He'll do it on you where he'll put his hands on you and just give you intentions. I was like, placebo effect, if nothing else. I was like, whatever.
There is no such thing as placebo effect. All right, it's placebo effect. You're recreating your reality.
Yeah.
So imagine if you're that much more firmly embedded into your thinking, if you're that invested.
Yeah,
dude, that's it.
No, yeah, dude, and that's all I believe, and I could feel it. But I think for a lot of people, for the people that are the skeptics or whatever else, I don't know. I like just to like, why not? If nothing else, like, it's not hurting. It's not hurting.
Right.
But I realized, like, man, I should be doing this every day. But it was that I was even grateful for yoga right there, because I was able to do my deep breathing. I was like, I need to do this at some point today anyhow. So when I do it laying with my son, and dude, sometimes I'll put him on my chest and we'll fall asleep like that, and like that's awesome. But it also made me realize, like, no, that's part of my perfect day is even if after he falls asleep, if I'm not here when he falls asleep, instead of just going to my bed at night, like, I'll go in there for like 10 minutes and just lay with him and do my breathing. Like, I mean, that's a cool little bonding experience because, because I'm a big old
pussy.
Damn, I turned into a damn hippie, man. So
you did. What happened to that bouncer?
I know,
dude?
yeah.
What tattooed bouncer?
Fucking trying to fight everybody.
Fight everyone, man.
Yeah.
Now you're this
so
peace-loving guy throwing hippie fucking bullshit.
You know what, dude? I like telling people that though, because it is that change, and all that angry guy was, dude, just because of the low self-esteem and just how much. Oh, dude, I had so many issues, and I still do, 100%. Yeah, I tell everyone that all the time too. Like, man, it's like I'm not over anything. I still get furious. You see me with my son trying to come up here. It's like you still, it's a battle. But having people, dude, the people that I have surrounded myself with, like you, all super positive, and since I've done that and I cut out people, like, I'm not gonna deal with negative people. I don't want them in my life.
Absolutely. My sister actually said something I'd never heard before yesterday, and it made a lot of sense. I was like, well, fuck, dude, why didn't I think of that? You are the sum or the median of the 5 closest people to you. So you're that healthy balance of those 5 people. And so I actually kind of played that in my head, and I was going through people that are the closest to me that I spend the most time with, and I was like, fuck, dude, that's so true, dude. It was like the most odd, like, epiphany, and it came from my sister. It was very different thinking, and I was just like, damn, dude, that's insane. And first of all, it shows you can learn something from anyone, right? But again, just knowing that you are a product of your environment is really important.
Yeah, no.
So, and essentially, everyone wants to feel good, dude. Everyone. I don't care who you are. No one wants to feel shitty.
Yeah.
You know, so if you want to feel good, like, go out there and feel good.
Yeah. Dude, one thing I realized too, you'd be proud of me for this. I realized how much music was negatively affecting me.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, man.
You know, I've done the same exact thing. I was talking to a buddy the other day. He was wearing a Trivium shirt. I used to love that band, right? Metal.
Yeah.
Dude, I never listen to metal anymore. I got like 2 bands, and sometimes even when they come on, I'm just like, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah.
And that's literally my cognitive thinking. I break it down to, I don't feel this right now.
And I could do it. A lot of times I'll do it on the way to jiu-jitsu or whatever. That's when I'm in the car. I usually try to drive in silence now, like, because then I can do my thinking. I can do like, I think everyone should do that, but they don't want to listen to themselves. But I'll put on metal and then I'll start filming. Like, I get into it, dude. I fucking love metal.
Yeah.
But then I realize it's like, okay, now I'm a little bit pumped up, and now I'm a little bit maybe too aggressive, and maybe now I'm gonna be a little bit pissed off at this driver, and maybe now, like, why do I want that? Is it gonna benefit me right now? Because I think there are times when it could benefit. Maybe if I'm gonna go lift weights, or I don't know. There's definitely times for it. But for the most part, I'll put on something, just chill. I'll be like, all right, I just got to get back into relaxing. I was like, this is affecting me. And that's why I really limit how much the kids are around it and all that.
Yeah.
So, and I've been playing, teaching myself guitar.
I saw
and
that.
a lot of acoustic, and I'm digging it. Like, I mean, I play rocksmith and like some more aggressive metal, but like with acoustic, I'm really trying to learn. But man, I know you got stuff to do, but I do want to wrap up because you are writing one of the Try Not to Dies. I wasn't sure whether or not you'd be interested or not.
Oh, definitely, man.
But dude, I'm loving it. I'm just getting together with people that some of these people have no writing experience. You like to write, but some of these friends, they just maybe have never even written before. But
Pretty
I was like,
ballsy. Sounds like it might come out sucking.
no.
Nah.
See it, yeah. And that was a fear maybe, but I was like, no. I was like, how hard is it
What
to
gave
write?
you the idea to try and spread across the field of incorporating
Just
other people?
all my friends. I think I had always wanted to do a series, and then I was gonna try to reach out to different authors, but every other author, they already have their own stuff that they're working on. It's like,
I do a startup project with some no name.
Yeah, I don't want to jump into someone else's world. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if a very popular author came to me right now and said, let's write a book together, I'm like, no, I got like 20 of my own that I got to do. Like, I got so much shit for the next 15 years that I don't need any other books. And this is what I want to create. I want to create my own thing. And so, but by working with you and all these people, it's like, I just pop into your brain and just help you see what this thing is. And then we're like, okay, well, maybe this won't work, or in this kind of format, this won't work. But it's pretty much just me asking you questions and then you developing it. And then and everyone works differently. So I'm not sure how you're going to work. I think because you're a writer already, you're going to just go on your own. You're going to do your research. You're going to develop what we developed today. But today, like, you kind of knew the idea. You knew you wanted to do something about the Nazis because he's a sick fuck.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, he is pretty sick. See, yeah, where's Mr. Peaceful Guy now talking about throwing babies
Gotta
in there
maintain
and
that
shooting
balance,
them?
man. You know, people bounce back and forth. I reside in the middle.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. We got a lot of dark stuff, and you can't just deny it. And then, and especially if it's stuff that's you've read and you're fascinated by. So yeah, man, I don't know what we're gonna call yours, but it's gonna be about a dude.
It's gonna be an epic title.
It is gonna be pretty cool. Maybe something like Try Not to Die in Auschwitz. I don't know. We gotta figure out. We're not going with Auschwitz, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, who knows what it's gonna develop into? Next week it might be something different.
Exactly.
But that's what's cool. We got a lot done today. You'll go home. You'll develop it more. Before you know it, you'll have it all laid out, plotted out. And then we just knock out each scene, and then we do the death scenes, and before you know it, you have your own book. So, and then maybe there's a full novel to go along with it too.
Possibly.
That comes up the next year. So, yeah, man, I think I appreciate that you're going for it. Because dude, I mean,
happy to be a part of the team. I'm stoked.
That's cool. And it's not an easy thing too, and especially like sharing work with other people. But you've already done that with me, and so that's cool. I share my work with you. And you're one of the guys too, where I appreciate your honesty and I respect your opinion, intelligence, everything else, ability to have visions. So yeah, it's all good stuff.
Which may or may not be in the book.
Yeah. We'll see what makes it. And dude, and I'm telling everyone, like, if you enjoy this, then we'll do another one. Like, this can go on forever. I want to make the Try Not to Die series huge. So. Let's wrap this thing up. I got to take care of the kids. Fun stuff. No, I will enjoy it. I'll breathe. I'm going to breathe. And what an opportunity, dude, for me to be a stay-at-home dad. Like, I honestly, yeah. And my kids are awesome.
Can you believe this guy still bitches?
Yeah. No, every once in a while I do. And, but then I pull it back. I'm like, no, I can't bitch about my life. I can't complain about stuff. Like, I'm fucking incredibly grateful. So, but yeah, by being able to do these books, being able to be with the kids, being able to do Sometimes my decision in the morning is, okay, do I write? Do I play yoga? Do I do yoga? Or do I play guitar? I was like, all right, how do I get all three of these things done? I was like, I got to get all three of these things done before pick up my kid from school. But all right, let's go and wrap this up. You'll be on again. We'll end on a story. Are there any short horror stories that you like of mine? You probably haven't even read any. Jesus Christ! It's just like Anthony. He doesn't read my shit.
I know it's up.
No,
I actually did like the guy who found he had like was it the underage pornography?
Oh yeah,
and then he got like a jinx or a hex from
the curse.
Every time he woke up, he died. Yeah, that was a good one.
Thank you. That was the first one. He only read
I got
only read the first story.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like the second one or the third one.
I didn't know it. I didn't like either of those either.
All right,
I think
I'm sorry. I picked the first one. You obviously chose a strong one to go out on.
I did.
To hype up the reader, thinking this is gonna be some good shit, and you let him down, dude. So okay, you put it on your own salt.
I think it was Wrong Side Tavern and something else. Then that's what's strange with writing too. And one reason why I never get upset by anyone's opinion, like even if someone's completely doesn't like a book or part of a book or whatever else, because like Wrong Side Tavern, not one of my favorite stories at all. But it was I've had a couple people tell me like that's their favorite story, or in reviews like they'll list that as one of their favorites. And so I never know. And like my sister and dad both helped edit the book, or they were one of my good readers on it, and I asked them for their list of their top their favorite stories and their least favorite. And it was crazy how mixed they were. Like there were a couple that were consistent, but some of them were completely flipped. Like my sister hated that one, but my dad liked that one. And so, I don't get offended. But hopefully you guys will like this. I don't even know which one it's going to be because I like playing surprise. We'll let T. Quillen tell you. If you guys want to pick up the whole book, you can pick up on Audible. I think it's $1.99 if you get the ebook first. But yeah, hopefully you guys will dig it. All right, thanks for checking it out, and we will talk to you next week.
Peace.
Later.
Mommy's Big Boy. Stacy held her 1-year-old on her lap, cooing and trying to get her boy to say the name of her latest man. Say it for Mommy. Come on, Brendan. Say Harry. Brendan tilted his head to the side and gazed into his mother's eyes. Babies always look like little drunks, Stacy thought. Brendan's eyes were glossy and trying to focus. Look, he's about to say it, Stacy said. Harry didn't take his eyes off the baseball game, even when he took a sip of his Bud Light. Cool. Come on, Brendan. You know how to talk, she said. One time. Say Harry. Brendan's blue eyes sparkled, and a grin spread across his face. Harry. He did it! He did it! He said it! Stacy cheered, bouncing Brendan into the air to celebrate. Harry turned up the television and gulped the rest of his beer. Stacy saw she'd been annoying him again, apologized for being too loud. I'm going to put him to bed. It's early, but maybe we could have some alone time. Harry actually glanced over at her. That don't sound too bad. Harry used the remote control to scratch the side of his neck. All right, I won't be long. Stacy stood with Brendan. Who's Mommy's big boy? Stacy gently tossed her little guy in her hands. Are you ready for bed? Brendan shook his head and used sign language to say that he was hungry. Stacy had taught him how to do it after watching a rerun of Oprah. Brendan had taken to it quickly. It gave him a voice, and Stacy liked that. Just now wasn't the time. No, you don't need to eat. It's time to go to bed. I'll feed you in the morning. Brendan squirmed and squealed, trying to wiggle out of her hands. Stacy had to sit back down to catch him. Before she could control him, he turned sideways and positioned himself under her breast. Stacy laughed as Brendan tried to lift her shirt. Quit it, Brendan! Brendan screamed when she held down her top. His scream grew louder. The hell's he crying about? Harry asked. He wants me to feed him. Give him a bottle if it'll shut him up. No, look at him. He wants me to feed him. Harry waited for the commercial before turning around. That's disgusting. I don't want to see that. It's perfectly natural. I don't care. I can't handle the thought of some kid sucking on your tits. Well, it's not like that. It's no big deal. Yeah, it is. It's gross. Don't ever do that around me. Don't ever talk about it. He turned back to the TV. And get him to shut up. Little fucker's giving me a goddamn headache. I'm sorry, Stacy said both to Brendan and Harry. She got out of the chair and walked Brendan to the bedroom. I'll put him to bed. I'll be back in a minute. Stacy laid Brendan in his crib, but in no time he was up on his feet, rattling the top railing. He continued to scream. She gave his cheek a gentle squeeze and smoothed his fine blonde hair. I'm so sorry, Brendan. Mommy's sorry. Just do this for me. I wish you could understand. Harry's not a bad guy, and I want to keep him around for a bit. But he won't stick if you keep on crying like that. He'll like you. I swear it. Oh, baby, please stop crying, will you? I need you to go to bed, sweetheart, please. Brendan unleashed an ear-piercing shriek. I'm sorry, honey. Stacy forced herself away from the crib. You need to go to bed. I'll see you in the morning. Before she changed her mind and picked up her screaming baby from the crib, Stacy walked from the room, leaving the door open an inch so she could peek in later without waking him. When she returned to the living room, she heard Brendan wailing over the baby monitor positioned next to the television. Harry glared at her, and then the monitor. Come on, Stace, I gotta listen to this? Are you serious? Stacy grabbed the monitor and lowered the volume. I'm sorry, I forgot about it. Harry turned up the television. I can still hear him. Well, I need to leave it on. This is so I can hear him. I don't buy that. What about all the babies that came before those stupid things came out? They all came out fine. My mom didn't have one of those things. It makes me feel better. She sat on the couch, lowered the monitor so she could barely hear Brendan's cries over the baseball game. Does that little bastard always scream like that? Stacy winced. The funny thing is, he never used to, even right after his dad died. It wasn't until last week that he started throwing these tantrums. Brendan's dad had passed 8 months earlier. He and Stacy had already planned on splitting, but it still tore her up to think about his death. Harry shrugged his shoulders and returned his attention to the game. Probably does it because you baby him too much. Treat him like a man, or he'll grow up to be a damn sissy. He's only 1. Put him on a schedule and don't treat him like he's helpless. He'll stop crying, trust me. You're probably right. I am. He clicked off the game, which ended with the Tigers winning by 3. So now that he's in bed, how about showing me some attention? I'd love to. She hurried over and sat on his lap. Harry looked down and noticed the monitor in her hands. What about that alone time you were talking about? She had left the door cracked and promised herself she'd keep one ear listening for Brendan. There, it's off. She kissed him on the cheek and set the monitor on the coffee table. How's that? That's a start. Harry pushed Stacy off his lap so he could dig into his jeans pocket. He held up a plastic baggie. I brought us a little snack. A pile of shriveled brown objects sat at the bottom of the bag. What are those? Mushrooms. Ever tried them? Mushrooms? No way. Never? You have no idea what you're missing out on. Stacy's cousin had tried to get her to take them in high school, but one taste had nearly made her puke, and she'd spit it out. She tried pulling Harry to his feet. We don't need that to have a good time. Come on, I'll show you. Harry pulled away from her grasp, but kept eye contact. Just try one. It'll bring us closer. You gotta try it. But what about Brendan? He's asleep. Harry slid his arm up Stacy's forearm, gave her goosebumps. What if he wakes and needs me? And what about nursing him? Can it mess up my milk? Harry yanked his hand away. God damn it, Stacy, what did I say about that crap? He's a boy, not a damn glass figurine. I don't want to do anything that can hurt him. Harry opened the bag and placed 2 of the shrunken mushrooms on his palm. It's fine. He placed one in his mouth and held the other out to her. They've done all kinds of tests on it. You mean studies? Yeah, that's what I said. He surprised her and stuck the other mushroom in her mouth. Just take it." Stacy was about to spit it out, but then Harry said, "You were the one that said you wanted to keep me around a bit, that I wasn't so bad." Stacy was going to deny it, but he pulled her into his chest. He stroked her cheek, forced her mouth closed. "There you go. That's good. Just chew it up and relax. You deserve this. Here, lie down on the floor. Here, let me just put this down." Harry spread a blanket over the worn carpet and flipped on the radio. "We'll just relax and watch some music for a while. That's right. Just come down here and get comfortable." Stacy stopped chewing the nasty stem, lay on her back, and stared up at the ceiling. Nothing happened for a while, but then everything began to spin. Harry just kept stroking her arm, telling her to relax. He crawled on top of her, slid his jeans past his knees. She woke a few minutes later, or was it hours, to the sound of a salesman announcing the best deals at Pete's Pontiac. Still half asleep, she blocked out the radio ad, rolled onto her side, and spooned Harry's sleeping body. She saw movement in her peripheral vision. Through blurry eyes, Stacy saw Brendan standing next to Harry's head. Brendan was struggling to hold a potted plant. He lifted the pot into the air and took a step closer to Harry's head. Stacy cried out for Brendan to set the pot down. He turned his head so fast that he lost his balance and fell onto his side, the pot breaking on the floor. Brendan got to his feet and shoved his finger against his tiny lips. "Not a word, bitch," he said, and ran toward his room, his little legs struggling to balance his chubby body. Stacy told herself she was hallucinating. She closed her eyes and drifted off again. Brendan's high-pitched screams and an eyeful of warm sunshine woke Stacy from her deep sleep. The clock told her it was already past 7 o'clock. Brendan always ate by 5:30, 6 at the latest. No wonder he was screaming bloody murder. Although her head was pounding and her lower back was killing her, Stacy picked herself up off the floor. She hurried to Brendan's room, afraid the baby's cries would wake Harry, who was still sprawled naked on the floor. Brendan stopped crying and smiled at her. As she went to pick him up, Stacy bumped into the tiny chair someone had placed next to the crib. Using the bottom of her shirt, she wiped the tears from his eyes and the snot from his lip. "Hush, big boy. Mama's here. I'm sorry, Brendan. You must be starving." Brendan smiled and gestured in sign language that he wanted to eat. She sat on the rocking chair and pulled up her shirt so he could feed. She was just thinking back to her crazy dream of Brendan holding the potted plant when Brendan bit down on her nipple. "Ow! What are you doing?" Stacy pulled him away from her and stood him on her lap. "Don't bite. That hurt Mommy." Brendan shook his oversized head and stared disapprovingly at her and clearly said, "How about you wash your tits after letting that scumbag slobber all over them? If I wanted to taste shitty beer and stale cigarettes, I'd ask you to kiss me." Stacy held him at arm's length. It took a few seconds to find any words, but when she did, she screamed for Harry. Brendan smiled as Harry crashed about the living room, yelled for her to calm down. Harry appeared in the doorway, looking worse than Stacy felt. What the hell is it?" Stacy kept Brendan at arm's length. It's him. He talked." "You woke me up because of that?" No, she cried. You don't understand. He talked like an adult. He had a man's voice and was so mean. This isn't my son." Harry looked at the smiling baby and back at Stacy. "You're out of your damn mind. It's just the shrooms." No, I was feeding him, and he bit me. He said..." "What did I say about that? I told you not to mention that crap." "I'm sorry, but..." Before Harry could interrupt her, she said, "He bit me and said my boob tasted like beer and cigarettes." Harry laughed and slapped his thigh. "Jesus, Stacy, you're still tripping. Put the kid in the crib. You need to get your head straight." You think it's the mushrooms? I'm still high. What do you think, Brainiac? Come on, put him down and fix me some breakfast. It'll make you feel better. Harry left the room and said, Wake me when it's ready. I want eggs. Stacy set Brendan in the crib and stepped back. She studied her giggling boy and felt disgusted with herself. He was so adorable, and he couldn't speak. He was one, and she was high. She bent down to nuzzle her son's cheek, whispered his name lovingly. A sick grin spread across his face. Why are we whispering? Stacy stifled a scream, reminded herself that she was still experiencing the drugs. She looked at the chair next to the crib. Did you get out of your crib last night? Brendan nodded. And you aren't going to say a word, are you, Mommy? His voice was so deep. Stacy gasped and pinched herself, hoping the pain would snap her out of this horrific illusion. When it didn't, she said, What were you trying to do? Let's just say the prick got lucky. If it weren't for these fat baby fingers, his brain would have been mush. Harry? What now? He asked from the other room. He's doing it again. Get out of there, Stace, Harry ordered. You're tripping. Drink some water and fix some goddamn eggs. And don't make them all runny. Brendan waved a mocking goodbye as Stacy backed out of the room. In the living room, she noticed the pot, cracked and on its side next to where Harry had been sleeping. Oh my God, the pot. Relax. Harry covered his face with the blanket to hide from the morning sunshine. I think I kicked it over when I got up. I mean, it's your fault, though. You scared the crap out of me when you yelled like that. You broke it? Who cares? The thing was ugly anyway. Go buy a new one if it bothers you so much. Stacy wanted to tell Harry about her dream, but it would only upset him even more. Instead, she did as she was told and cooked breakfast. The sunlight was intense, but she felt like she was regaining some sobriety. After she slid the plate of fried eggs in front of Harry, Stacy took a bottle of milk to Brendan's room. She was relieved to see he was curled up under his blanket. Stacy walked to the crib and set the bottle on the nightstand. She was about to pull the blanket down when she heard a noise behind her and whipped around. Brendan was a few feet away trying to pick up a pair of scissors from the floor. Before he could cut himself, Stacy snatched the sewing scissors and set them on the cabinet. She turned back to her son, who cursed under his breath, looking down at his hands. Stupid goddamn fingers, he said. Keeping one eye on Brendan, Stacy lifted the blanket and saw the pillow underneath it. What were you trying to do, Brendan? Her voice shook. Let's just say we'll call you lucky this time. Stacy picked Brendan up, holding him as far away as possible, and took him into the living room. She set him in front of Harry and said, Please watch him for a minute. I need to take a bath. I don't feel good at all. My mind's all screwed up. When is this stuff going to wear off? You can't worry about it. If you panic, it'll only make things worse. Hurry up and take a bath. I'll watch him. Thanks, Harry. I owe you. With his back to Harry, Brendan put his fist in front of his O-shaped mouth and rapidly jerked it up and down, showing Stacy he knew how she'd repay her boyfriend. She pretended she didn't see the obscene gesture and ran off to the bathroom. After setting the radio on the ledge and turning on an easy listening station, she eased into the warm water and tried to relax. She promised God that she would never again take drugs. She begged him to cleanse her mind, take away the evil thoughts. She loved Brendan and hated herself for thinking such terrible things about him. Stacy had been in the bath for quite some time when there was a low knock on the door. I'll be out in a minute, Harry. The knocking persisted. Is everything okay? Brendan's not causing too much trouble, is he? The doorknob turned back and forth. Finally, the catch released, and the door pushed open. And there was Brendan, standing on top of his rock and roll Tigger. Brendan had opened the door before, doing this very thing. but his sick smile told her the drugs were still coursing through her mind. He got down on his knees and backed off the toy, carefully easing one leg down and then the other so he didn't lose his balance. Before he turned toward her, he picked up his favorite red ball in his right hand and something else in his left. "Did you want to play catch?" She looked around the bathroom, actually thinking about what she could use as a weapon before scolding herself. "He's your son. Jesus, get it together, Stacy." She held her hands in front of her. "Want to throw it to Mommy? Wouldn't Harry play with you?" Brendan stepped into the bathroom, his left hand behind his back, his right clutching the red ball. "Oh, don't worry about him. That motherfucker got what he deserved." "What?" Brendan smiled and moved closer to the tub. "I made a joke. Get it? Your mommy." Brendan could barely control his giggles. "And he's screwing you." "Mofo." "Brendan, stop this right now. I love you, but you need to listen to me." Brendan bounced the ball up and down on his palm, his dexterity much improved. "You treat that loser better than your own son. What kind of mom does that?" "I'm sorry, honey. It's just that Mommy's getting older and it's hard to find a decent man." "You are getting old, and Harry was probably the best you'll ever get. I think I like my chances of getting a foster family. With my angelic face and adorable smile, I'll be picked up quick. Maybe I'll have a proper house, some decent threads." He tugged at the zipper of his ratty sleeper. These Salvation Army rags aren't flying." "Brendan, I'm a good mom." "You named me Brendan, for Christ's sakes. You want me to be some sissy boy?" "Don't say that. Your father named you." "Oh, what a great guy Daddy was, shaking the crap out of me every night." No, he didn't." "You know what else he didn't do? He didn't commit suicide on the bed." "I'm dreaming." Stacy closed her eyes and shook her head. "This isn't real." He showed her the fist he'd been holding behind his back. "Is this real?" Stacy stared at Harry's eyeball and screamed. Brendan tossed the bloody orb into the tub. His whole body shook with laughter as his mom slapped it away from her. "Don't worry," Brendan said. "Harry doesn't need it." Stacy struggled to stand in the tub, waiting for his next move. He threw the ball at her. Stacy moved to her right and then saw the malicious sparkle in Brendan's eyes. Realized too late what he'd been aiming for. The radio wobbled on the edge of the counter and fell toward the water before Stacy could leap from the tub. The electricity paralyzed her, and Stacy's eyes fixed on her big boy.